Hopefully it isn't too far away. There's Race Spec Esports. Hop onto the channel. There's the stream. Audio is working as it should, so that's absolutely fantastic. Well, hello everyone and welcome to round 3 of the Pacific Elite Series here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and tonight we'll be racing at Autodromo Internacional do Algarve for the Portuguese Grand Prix. This 4.65 kilometre 15 turn circuit was constructed in 2008 and introduced to the Formula One world in 2020. Thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic, of course. In Formula One's management's desperation to have as many Grand Prix as possible that year, the nation of Portugal would return to Formula One after a lengthy 25-year hiatus. The most unique part of the circuit is its roller coaster-like nature. No racetrack on the calendar has such dynamic and dramatic elevation change. This is particularly noticeable in areas such as Turn 4, Turn 8, Turn 11 and the final corner, Turn 15. All 4 of these areas will prove to be the most accident-prone sections of the racetrack. A couple of other areas to look out for are the 2 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turns 1, 2 and 3, which tend to work together for overtaking, and of course the tight hairpin of Turn 5. Outside of these areas, the drivers will be pretty hard-pressed to try and make moves happen. Now, before we focus on this qualifying session here, there is a little bit of news to go through first from last week's race over at... oh goodness, I forgot where we were at last week. Barcelona, that's where we were at last week. Only a single incident report involving Riley and Keeg, the result of which was a penalty point for Keeg for causing a collision, but he wasn't given a time penalty. As a result, the final finishing positions of the race remain unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, ACW is leading on 46 points, followed by Plebs on 43, then F1 Ferrari Pro on 38. Smithy's next on 37, followed by Bags Liddell, who rounds out the top 5 on 32. Then Jimson on 22, GeForce Pato on 21, Gers on 15, GeForce Zach on 13, and Spicy completes the top 10 on 12. In the Constructors, Ferrari are leading on 84 points, followed by Aston Martin on 69, 15 points behind. 5 points behind them is Alpine on 64. It's quite a jump down to 4th place, so McLaren on 27 points. So there's a definite top 3 in the Elite Series Championship for this season. Next is Williams on 18, followed by Mercedes on 17, Red Bull on 16, Alfa Romeo on 15, and Haas on 14. So Williams, Mercedes, Red Bull, Alfa Romeo and Haas separate each other by 1 point each. What an amazing coincidence after 2 rounds. AlphaTauri at the bottom of the table, and they're on 10. Well, that's pretty much it in terms of news. Now I can introduce my co-commentator for tonight, who was once again KD 1997. KD, it's the first time in a little while that we've raced here in Portugal. What do you expect to see here tonight in the Elite Series?
Well, for a track like this, especially with these sort of cars, since we have never driven this circuit with these cars before, I expect these drivers to try to not make any mistakes as possible, because it's very easy to do so around a circuit like this. A lot of low traction zones, especially in areas like Turn 4 and Turn 5, as you kind of pointed out. But yeah, no, there's a lot of critical traction zones that you have to be very, very careful of and be very mindful of as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, this track hasn't been used since Season 6, and back then that was F1 2021, and that's a vastly different game physics-wise compared to F1 22. As we know in F1 22, these cars are incredibly twitchy under acceleration in particular. So these areas from F1 2021 are going to be even worse, I imagine, in these race cars. And I remember looking at the Discord before this event, a lot of drivers were complaining about the racetrack, which is quite unsurprising considering the nature of the circuit. But I'm still looking forward to it. Portimão has produced some decent racing in the past, some really, really tight racing, so hopefully we get to see some of that more tonight as Jimson, well, there we go. First retirement of the session.
That's a, what is that, turn 11?
Yep. Exit of 11 heading into 12. So what I guess is that coming down the hill out of turn 11, he applied too much throttle. The back end lit up, spun round, and it put him into the right-hand side barrier. And as a consequence, he is retired out of qualifying. Saw that quite a few times in 21, so interesting to see that we're seeing similar things here in 22. But, at the top of the board, it is Smithy at the moment with a 1 minute 17.156. He is considerably faster than the next car. ACW is about to begin a flying lap. No, he's not. He's about to end one. He does a 17.4. What about his teammate Ferrari Pro? He goes back into the pits. So ACW now on the front row. Still a solid 3/10 behind Smithy. The Aston Martin is well clear of everybody else, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, those are really good times as well, with these sort of cars as well in the 17s. I think that's supposed to be the more competitive times. I know in the last game, I think, if I remember correctly, we were 16s, I think? Like the mid to low 16s were like the more competitive times. But no, with these things, I expect them to be at least a second slower than the cars we used previously.
Yeah, quite a natural thing to say, considering how much less downforce these things produce compared to the previous cars, as Spicy jumps up to P4 with a 1 minute 17.769. He is currently 38 thousandths of a second behind Plebs in P3. Roscoe Arm making his way out of turn 5 around turn 6 and into the notorious turns 7 and 8. Turn 8 is the most notorious of these bits. A very steep uphill section on the exit of the right-hand curve means that the car's back end doesn't really want to cooperate through that uphill section at all. It's probably the trickiest part of the circuit, wouldn't you say, KD?
Oh, I do agree with that. I mean, I remember from last season that I nearly had an incident with in that same corner, particularly.
Oh, Roscoe!
Oh, Roscoe. Bye-bye.
Well, that's a new hazard spot, turn 14. There you go.
Well, I guess maybe with these things, I don't know.
It looked like he did clip a little bit of that inside curve, which may have unsettled the car just enough for him to spin out. Now, Pump here making his way around the final corner, turn 15, and back onto the main straightaway. We're going to ride on board with the Williams driver, give you a tour of this 5.65 kilometre racetrack. Down the hill towards turn 1, really sharp braking point here at the 50 board, down to 5th gear, short shifting up to 6, and running wide at the exit of turn 1, ruining the flying lap. So easy to do, isn't it? Because turn 1, it's so fast, but it has such a narrow racing line.
Yeah, it's so narrow and it's very easy to run wide. Yep, and easy to accumulate penalties as well. That's another. I don't remember if you point that out, but yeah, it's quite easy to do so. Track extending around this place.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
we saw turn 1 and turn 4 as well, if you're not careful.
Absolutely. There are quite a few areas where the drivers will need to be quite careful of over the course of the race, and of course through qualifying as well, as I believe Smithy has just begun a flying lap, making his way through the first sector around turn 8, up the hill to turn 5, up towards turn 6, then into turn 7 and 8, down to 6th gear, then down to 4th gear, gently applying the accelerator, and then as soon as he tops the crest at turn 8, that's when you get to full throttle. Before that point, you have to use partial throttle, because if you go screaming out of the corner too soon on the accelerator, you're going to spin. That's how loose these cars are around this circuit. And Smithy, at the moment, our pole sitter, he's still got a 3/10 margin over the field. ACW is still in second.
He's also improved. He's improving. He's up by nearly a 10 after the middle sector.
Being nice and narrow up towards the line. It's going to be a 17.007. Well, isn't that fitting in the Aston Martin?
Wow, that's a very good lap.
It's a very fast. Very fast. 4.5 tenths faster than ACW. Ferrari Pro will cross the line and jump up to P2, 17.285. He is just over 2.5 tenths off Smithy's pole time. Keegs has invalidated this run. It looks like he's going to have another crack. He's on the medium compound tyre as well, so these aren't going to be representative runs throughout this session. Pump making his way through the middle sector and around turn 13. A potential overtaking spot if you can get a run through turns 11 and 12. You might be able to set up a move into 13. But a lot of the time, drivers will just wait until the main straightaway in order to try and make a pass. Pump will exit the final corner, head over the hill up towards the line. It's a 17.886. That is P6 for the Williams driver. Someone's jumped up. That's Pato. He's jumped up to P3 with a 17.3. So 50 cars in the 17s at the moment. And it's a big jump down to Simo. It's 1 second separating Riley and Simo in P8 and P9. So hopefully these guys be able to set more representative lap times.
Yeah, it's still pretty decent. Yeah, but still top 8 though in the 17s. Quite close in that sort of realm. That's typically what we saw in Portugal last game, if I remember correctly. Yep. How close qualifying can be.
Yep, absolutely. So it's good to see that's being replicated. The competitive nature of qualifying here in Portugal. As Bags Liddell heads over the crest up towards the line. It's an 18.367. That is P9. He overtakes Simo, who's demoted down to P10. And I believe Simo had a spin as ACW jumps up to second place once again with a 17.061. He is 54 thousandths of a second behind Smithy in pole position.
Yeah, that's fast. That's quite fast.
Properly quick. Bump goes back into the pits. Bag is on an in-lap. Simo, I believe, is going to go back into the pits here. Yes, he is. Davis, I believe, is on a flyer heading towards first sector split. He's up by 95 thousandths of a second. So not much of an improvement, but then again, you're not expecting much time to be gained through the first sector. It's only 4 corners. The main area of the racetrack you need to focus on and gaining lap time is through the middle sector. So many corners through here, so many difficult corners as that. Davis makes his way around the flat-out left-hander of turn 9. Up the hill to 10, that is pretty average there from the Mercedes. Aussie just sitting on the racing line, not really paying any attention there. As Davis heads towards turn 13, the hairpin. Down to second gear, short shifting up to fourth. There's a Aston Martin doing a bit of lawn mowing. That must be Bags as Smithy is in the pit lane. Davis makes his way out of the penultimate corner and around the final turn, turn 15. Keeps it in 7th gear as he heads up the hill and decides to bail. Fair enough, he was put off on that lap, I feel, by Aussie at turn 10. He was just sitting on the racing line there at the right-hander. And you really need to use the full width of the circuit there. Like, that's something that I learnt around this track on F1 2021 because I run no racing line. So it's very difficult to get a reference through turn 10. But essentially what you have to do is drive way wide at turn 10 so you can open up turn 11 because that's the more critical corner of the two at the top of that hill. So yeah, you take a really nice wide line. Look at this. Look at that. That's the proper racing line from Spicy right there. Nice and wide through turn 10. So you open up turn 11 as much as possible and carry as much speed around the corner as possible. It's really important to do, as I learnt in F1 2021. And of course the same rules apply here in F1 22. Absolutely no surprises there. As I think Spicy is going back into the pits. Surely he would with 4 minutes left. Yes, he is. So everyone's in pit lane, KD. Don't see this all too often.
No, not too much, really.
Except for the beginning of qualifying, of course, but still.
Yeah, no, that's a bit of a first, if I'm totally honest.
Yeah, with 3 3/4 minutes left in qualifying, everyone, all 15 drivers, plus Jimson, who retires in the pit lane. Someone's in the fast lane, though. That's a Red Bull, I believe. Is it Gaz? No. Who is it?
No, that's Keeks.
It is Keeks.
Keeks on the Williams. He's coming out for his outlap.
3 minutes, 22 seconds left on the clock. He should get one run in. If he can't get that run in, he should have enough time to do a second, I think.
Yeah, you just gotta hope to not run into any sort of traffic.
Correct.
I don't think it will. Yeah. That's the main thing.
As we saw with Davis at turn 10, traffic can hurt you quite a bit, so best avoid it at all costs. Alright, Keegs making his way around turn now. We've got a couple of other cars out now. We've got Gares out on track. We got Smithy out on track. We got Davis out on track. A couple of the other drivers now making their way out, trying to find a bit of clear air so they can set their optimal lap time right at the end of this qualifying session. Just over 2.5 minutes left in the session. Alright, Keegs, let's see what you can do. Current best time is a 19.280. If he improves by a mere 0.02 of a second, he will improve position. In order to get into the top 10, though, he has to find almost 4 tenths over the course of this lap. We're right on board. Hopefully we can give you a tour of this racetrack. Down the hill towards turn 1, peak speed 325 kilometers an hour through turn 1. Around turn 2 and into the tight hairpin of turn 3, definitely a potential overtaking spot during the race. Around the tricky turn 4, uphill, off camber, very easy to lose control through there. Down the back straightaway and towards the hairpin of turn 5. He's up by 1.5 tenths to the first sector. Nice and tidy around 5, nice and steady on the accelerator. Don't want to be too eager with the accelerator, otherwise you'll spin. Out to turn 6, into 7, missing the apex a little bit there, and around the critical, turn 8. Third gear, gently applying the throttle over the crest and down the hill. It's a steep downhill section through turn 9, back up the hill and into turn 10. Down through the gearbox, down to third gear, short shifting, up to fourth, down the hill, through turn 12, keeping it nice and narrow, opening up the entry here into turn 13. Down to second gear, short shifting third, bit of understeer towards the exit, but he got the car rotated. Around turn 14, the penultimate corner on the racetrack, then up towards turn 15, the final turn on the racetrack. Up towards the line now for Keys. He's got one crest to climb, and then he crosses the line. It's a 18.390. He jumps into the 10.
Keep your eyes on Smithy. He's about to end his final flying lap from the way it looks. He was down by 27 thousandths in the middle sector. Let's see if he can try to improve as he crosses the start finish line. Opens DRS. Oh, come on.
There you go.
A 16.963. Are you serious?
That's quick.
Goodness me.
That is quick. Ferrari Pro is down by 3 thousandths to the first sector. If he wants pole, he has to improve by a little over 0.3 of a second. ACW, meanwhile, is up by 29 thousandths of a second. If he wants pole, he can't do that and run wide. Oh, he got away with it at turn 5. So you can do that, really opening up turn 5 there. Bit illegal, but if the game allows it, the game allows it. Ferrari Pro is down.
Nearly loses the back end, though, coming out turn 8 there.
He's
That's
kept
not
it
going to help
together.
ACW. Yeah.
As Riley's finished the session, he is P5 with a 17.4. Ferrari Pro will cross the line and does not improve. Oh, and ACW's invalidated the run. His session is over. Best he can hope for is second. Pato, meanwhile, is down to the middle sector as well, and he's backed out of the lap. He cannot improve. Plez, meanwhile, is up by 1.5 tenths. In order for him to improve position, he has to find a bit over 0.3 of a second. So he has to find a considerable amount of time here through the final sector. He's going to get a helping hand from his Italian teammate as he makes his way out to the final corner, up the hill towards the line. He improves by 0.2 tenths. It's P6 for players. Bags Liddell finishes in 7th. Spicy up in 8th. Pump will cross the line. He will improve to P7.
Good lap from Pump there.
Yeah, 3 cars in the 5s as well. Players, Pump and Bags Liddell. They're probably tight.
Why are you using that?
Screen freeze. Interesting.
Oh, did you have that?
ACW had a screen freeze on his lap.
Oh, ACW has screen freeze. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
So that was part of the reason why he wasn't able to put that final run together. It's one of the niggling issues with crossplay. I haven't personally experienced it, but I know it's a thing, so that's unfortunate. But what a lap by Smithy. 1 minute 16.9. The only driver in the 16s. Quite an impressive run there from the Aston Martin driver. He qualifies on pole by just under 1/10 of a second to ACW, with Ferrari Pro right behind. in third. G-Force Pato is fourth, followed by Riley in fifth, then Plez in sixth. Pump 7th, Bags 8th, Spicy 9th, and Roscoe will round out the top 10, 1 second of pole position. Simo is next in P11, followed by Keegs, Gares, Davis, Aussie completes the point scoring places. Jimson will have to start from the very back of the grid, crashing out during the beginning stages of qualifying. He'll start P16 out of 16. So yeah, all the work to do from the very, very back of the grid.
I can tell you that's not easy too, because I experienced that last season. Oh, not last season, 2 seasons ago.
Yes.
When I start from the back of the grid.
Not fun. Not fun.
That was thanks to a Ferrari parking his car on the entry of turn 3 and into conditions.
Yes, I remember that during qualifying.
Yep.
Quite the moment, quite the spectacular moment, though you probably didn't think it was spectacular at the time. But
no.
It was quite the moment during quali. Dry, it looks like too.
Yeah, but also ACW did tell me, I guess it's going to end somewhere towards the middle part, but we'll have to keep our eyes on that.
Okay, so we might have some wet weather conditions is what you're saying.
Yes, we might, yes.
Okay. Well, this track is already difficult enough in the dry. Let's just make it more difficult. Why not? We're the ones sitting in the commentary box. So
yeah, we get to enjoy the show. So yeah.
We're not the ones driving, though you will be on Tuesday. So
yeah, I'll just pray that I don't have to deal with it.
Pray to the rain gods, to the Codemaster gods.
Well, pray it's also to that Ferrari doesn't park his car at turn 3.
Yes.
Or any car park his car at turn 3.
You have a trouble 3 qualifying for Americas. Alright. Timer ticking down towards the start of the formation lap, and there is a bit of discussion about tyres here at Portugal. In the previous game, tyres lasted forever. They lasted a really, 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 really long time. Next to nowhere. Now, I have heard from some people that it's the same thing in F122, but I think KD can relate to this as well. We haven't experienced that yet. So we have no idea of how the tyres are going to behave over the course of this race. So it'll be interesting to see who starts on what for this Portuguese Grand Prix. And KD, it's a convincing story. My goodness.
It's for literally almost everybody.
Almost everybody is absolutely spot on. Yep.
Except for 3. Spicy, Riley, and Pato.
Yeah. So, we'll run through the order quickly. Smithy, ACW, and Ferrari Pro. That's your top 3. They're all starting on the hards. Pato and Riley are starting on mediums in P4 and 5. Plebs is next. So the Alpines have got a split strategy going. That might work for one of them, both of them, none of them, who knows. Pump P7 on the hard compound tyre, same with Bags Liddell in P8. Spicy P9 on the medium compound tyre, the last driver to start on the mediums, and that's still showing Bags. Even though I've got it flicked to Spicy on the leaderboard, it's still looking at Bags, because this game is great.
Yep, that's still a thing.
Then the next 7 cars, as Simo gets disqualified from the session. But Roscoe, Simo, Keegs, Gares, Davis, Aussie, and Jimson, all of them are starting on the hard compound tyre. So the 3 on the mediums, with basic arithmetic, you can work out that 13 are on the hard compound tyre. Yeah, I didn't expect it to be so convincingly one-sided in terms of tyres.
Probably what I'm guessing is they're going to just stretch these tyres till the rain comes and then put on the wet tyres, well, whatever tyres it's going to be when the rain comes.
Yeah, fair enough. It'd be interesting to see how those mediums fare. Because if it is like last year's game, they should make it to the wet weather period. Because mediums could last for an eternity, so...
There are 2 cars that are littered all over the place at the final turn. I see. Aussie and Davis, yeah. And
Gare's doing some doughies in his Red Bull. He did inform us that he's got a rig. Used it in Formula Endurance over at Spa, though his race was cut short due to an accident at turn 7. Hopefully he doesn't have an accident here, gets a proper run in with his new rig. But all 16 cars are lined up ready to race. We got 33 laps in front of us and 5 red lights. We're underway here in Portugal. It's a nice start, it looks like, from Smithy as they head down the hill towards turn 1. Pato has had a blinder of the start. He leads into turn 1. What a beautiful start from the Italian. As Smithy's in second, Riley's in third, ACW in fourth. Players fighting Ferrari Pro. They're side by side through turn 4, battling for P6 and 7. Down to yellow's out. It's Pump.
Yellow's Pump. He spun at the exit of turn 4.
Down the inside goes Spicy. Contact between him and Plebs. It's almost 3 wide at the exit of turn 5 as we head towards turn 6. Ferrari Pro has to give in. Pulls in behind Spicy. Plebs moves himself into P5, but Spicy, he'll be on the attack. He'll want to try and get by his rival as soon as possible as they head around turn 9, up the hill towards turns 10 and 11. He's close, but not close enough to try and make a move. But what a brilliant start from G-Force Pato.
Yep, full use of those medium compound tires. That's the reason why. Same with Riley, as we saw. Jims has left the session. That's unfortunate. But yeah, he's already got 1 second lead. Oh no, he's lost it. He's in the infield.
Yes.
Woo.
Similar to Roscoe, I would guess, during qualifying. Hit the inside curb and lost control. He might have had a helping hand, I'm not terribly sure. As Aussie and Gaz, they've been side by side for the final sector on the first lap. Aussie's just saying, hey, mate, back off. And Gaz is saying, let's go, mate. I'm all for it.
What a be adventurous. We're at Portugal after all.
Oh, go for it. Let's see what happens. But Gaz has made up spots at the start. He's made up 3. He'll be happy with that. Aussie's made up 6, though. He's had a terrific start on those hard tyres. From 15th up to 9th already. And here comes Plebs down the inside of Simo at turn 5. And he moves through into 12th place. Oh, and there goes Gaz.
No. Wow. As we were praising him.
Yep. Sorry. My fault.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah. It strikes when you're least expecting it. So, Pato with a clear track in front. He want to try and pull away from Smithy as much as he can. He's got 1.2 seconds over the Aston Martin driver right now. There's the predicted pit stop strategy according to the game. The pit window, lap 15 through 19. It's quite a large pit window, and in fact, that goes beyond the halfway mark in the race, lap 19. So, yeah, these mediums can go a while.
I guess so.
Pato, no surprises there, eh? On the medium tyre with clear track in front.
I meant the interesting as in the pit window. That's what I was referring to. Oh, hello, Kicks. Plebs.
Oh, wide.
Quite wide there, turn 2.
Yeah, look, it's not the best overtaking spot. It's definitely a prime overtaking spot, turn 1, for sure. But it's not the best in the world, that's for sure. Like, being such a fast, narrow corner, it is so easy to make a mistake when you're going through there normally. So when you're going through side by side with somebody, it turns into a massive nightmare. And the person on the outside usually gets a short end of the stick, as Pump gets by the AI of Jimson. I believe Jimson disconnected from the session, I think. Hopefully he can rejoin somehow.
Yeah, that was on the first lap. Ooh, Smithy had a little bit of a tank slapper there. Might have locked the rears, I think. And that's going to give Riley a bit of an opportunity, probably.
Yeah, and he needs this opportunity. He's on the medium tyre. He needs to get into some clear air, try and catch up to Pato if he can, as they head over the crest and down the main straightaway. DRS open, switching on the battery. Oh, Riley's going to take P2 away so easily there. Such an elementary move with the power of DRS. He's through into second place. Nice, simple, clean. Smithy didn't put up a fight, couldn't put up a fight anyway. As Plez gets by Aussie, that is for P9. So Plez making his way back through. Still got a long way to go to get up to where he once was. Now, out of turn 5, heading towards turn 6. Oh, a bit of a wiggle there from Riley. Heading towards turn 7 and 8. Smithy on the hard tyre. doing quite well to keep up. Oh, Ferrari Pro.
Ferrari Pro, it's spicy.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, they were tight. Finished,
Around turn 9, up the hill. Into turn 10, then around turn 11, 4th gear. See how much grip Spicy's getting through there. So much more apex speed because of the extra grip on that medium compound tyre. Just, oh, there's more!
Oh, what a save! What a beautiful save. Lost time, unfortunately.
I think he's going to lose DRS as a result. Yeah, he's lost it.
He's over a second. Yeah, that's crucial.
Oh, but that was a moment. That was a big moment from Ferrari Pro, and he caught it somehow.
Yeah. He's lucky they still within the still in the race in some sort of aspect.
Well, yeah, he's not out of it. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So, and we've got a long way to go. 33 laps around here is not going to go by too quickly, especially for the drivers. It's going to be a total nightmare for them on these hard tires with very, very little grip. Even on the soft tire, there's very, very little grip, so you can imagine what it's like on the hard tire. And then they got to prepare themselves for the fact that rain's coming at some point. So
yep, and that track will probably be like an ice skate rink.
Yep, it'll be like the Hockenheim drag strip from 2019. Just everywhere though.
Probably.
So not fun.
No.
It's okay for us. We're in the comms box, so.
Hey, we're dry. We're happy.
We're dry. We're happy. We're just admiring the show. That's what we're doing.
Exactly.
Now, this train of cars, they're keeping each other company. Can anyone try and find a way by? Pump's close. He's got a bit of a run going. Remember as well, top 15 score points. Oh my goodness, running wide was Davis and Pump. We got some moving and shaking on the straightaway too. Down towards turn 1. Can anyone line up a move? Not here, but maybe at turn 3. Oh, Pump running wide. He couldn't get a run going. Ran wide, so he had to back off. On turn 4. Onto the back straight. Towards turn 5.
What is a weave in there? My goodness, from Ozzy.
Yeah.
Down
contact between Simo and Davis, and he's around.
Davis is a go around. Yep. I think he might have had a helping hand from Pump there.
Well, he and Simo definitely came together. That was after. But that was before the spin. Sorry, well before the spin. I don't think Pump hit him. I think Davis just got a bit too eager on the throttle and spun out. He might have had a bit of a helping hand from Simo, but yeah, I think Davis did that.
Okay, now the angle looked like it, for me, it looked like that Pump may have touched him, but no, that's fair. Fair enough if that's what happened.
Smithy closing in with DRS, even on the hard tire, he's got pace, gears, spins, drops down to P16, around turn 1. Understeering wide there, Smithy, that might be a warning. Can't afford that understeer, can't afford it at all. Round turn 4, bit of a wiggle from Riley, down the back straight. Got plenty of fuel, he's got 1 lap extra fuel, Smithy. So he doesn't have to worry about that. Out of turn 5, wiggle from Riley, here we go.
And there he goes, up and takes position.
Simple as you like. A mistake from Riley, an opportunity created, and Smithy took it with both hands. He's through into P2. I must say, Pato is looking pretty good right now. 3.7 seconds in front.
Yeah, no, he's really pulled away for sure. Actually, you mentioned about the fuel from Smithy. I do remember from 2021, the fuel situation here was that it does consume quite a bit of it from last game. I wonder if that's maybe the same story for this one too.
Could do. That's a fair enough point. Of course, the rain will mitigate that somewhat.
Right.
If that is indeed the case. But by how much, I don't know. Yellow's its bags.
Ooh, that's penultimate corner.
Yeah, a bit of a moment there. ACW attacking Riley here, down towards turn 1. Simple move. Riley couldn't fight that, I'm afraid.
Oh, that that's close there. Pum and Bags nearly came together there at the final turn as they try to re-enter onto the track.
They're drag racing each other towards turn 1, and Bags has to give in. Oh, but he runs terribly wide. That doesn't help the cause, mate. Got to keep it within the white lines, I feel. Especially when you toured the grass at turn 14. Now you just made your tyres even worse. Oh dear.
Yeah, he copied what Clebs did pretty much, so yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems that turn 14 is more of a tricky area of the racetrack than I initially assumed. This key's got by Aussie as well, that's for P9. Riding on board here with Spicy though, I feel like an overtake's going to happen very, very shortly. You can see as well, Spicy, he's got minus 0.6 on his steering wheel in terms of fuel. So he's running below what is required. He's expecting the rain to save fuel, obviously. Yeah. Maybe a safety car or two as well, because that, I imagine, is quite a likely thing to happen here in Portugal. Here comes Spicy. Pulls out of the slipstream, looking around the outside at turn 1. Oh, leaves room for Riley, runs wide. So he gives up the position temporarily. Goes round the outside at turn 3. This will turn into the inside at turn 4. Riley, though, keeping the fight alive, but by doing so, they lose time. Spicy with DRS. Looking to the inside.
Ooh, that's tight. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Ferrari Pro's got a decent exit as well. He's drawing alongside the Mercedes. It's 3 wide out of turn 6. Contact and lagging and ghosting, and Riley wins the battle somehow.
Don't know how that worked, but there you go.
There you go. So
I thought that could have been much, much worse, but there you go.
Down the hill towards turn 12. Ferrari Pro, now he has an opportunity to try and attack Riley, and because of all that battling, there's now a 3-second margin between Riley and ACW. It's quite big. Davis has spun at turn 8. He's had a moment there. Heading out of the penultimate corner and around the final corner. 0.3 of a second separating Riley and Ferrari Pro. How much will Ferrari Pro gain down the main straightaway? DRS open. Doesn't have a lot of battery to play with. Oh, and that McLaren's got some decent straight line speed. Into turn 1. They're side by side running, or almost contact between the two cars there at turn 1. Riley keeps the inside line at turn 3. Ferrari Pro loses control, gathers it up, but he cannot keep the fight alive. He has to give in. Spicy closes in. Looks to the inside. It's 3 wide, heading into turn 5. And Ferrari Pro wins the battle. Round the outside at turn 5. He was able to put the traction down. He was able to get the corner speed at the exit. So he gets in front of Riley and Spicy now into P4. A very clean move indeed. I thought, or at least had a feeling, that Ferrari Pro might have got the short end of the stick through that exchange. But he got through the corner quite well. So well, in fact, that he took both positions.
Yeah. And gained a little bit of time to Riley as well.
Yeah, 9/10 now. So Riley doesn't have the fastest car underneath him right now. He's got Spicy closing in.
Yep.
All right.
Riley will DRS 2.
Here comes Spicy. To the inside he looks, heading towards turn 1. He's got momentum. Dives it in deep. Riley fights around the long way. They're side by side through turn 2, heading into turn 3. Spicy trying to push him out wide. Riley's having none of it though. Covering that inside line at turn 4. It's a drag race towards the hairpin of turn 5. Who's going to win it? Riley with the inside line, dives it in deep, covers the apex. Can Spicy get underneath him? He's going to try. He's drawing alongside. We have an incident at turn 3, side by side out of turn 6. Spicy gets in front. He's into P5. Meanwhile, behind, Pump in P9, Banks Liddell, Intense, Simo, Aussie and Keegs battling for position. Keegs round the long way, Aussie covering the inside line. The Williams gets a pretty decent exit out of turn 5, but Aussie has the inside line at turn 6, but that will turn to the outside at turn 7. Keegs has, the nose in front at turn 8. Aussie,
Oh,
using
the
all of the
squeeze.
curb on the outside, is still keeping the fight alive. Down the inside at turn 9. That will turn into the outside at turn 10. Oh, but Keith doesn't send it in deep. Aussie drives round the outside at turn 11. He's got the car in front. Oh, but Keith is still alongside him, heading around turn 13. Keegs running a tad bit wide, but he'll have the inside line at turn 14, sends it in deep and gets in front of the Mercedes. What a duel for P12.
Wow. They were side by side for literally the entire lap. That's something I would never expect for a track like this.
Here we go, DRS Open. Aussie, he'll get by pretty easily there. P12 is now his.
Fair credit though for that.
Oh, Keegs, he went deep there at turn 3. Think it threw Aussie off just a little bit. Oh, a ton of understeer though through turn 4. It's cost him about a tenth or so through that corner. Ugh, not ideal. Now, it seems that the battles have spread out just a little bit. We've got Pump and Bags for P9. We've obviously got Aussie and Keegs, but with Aussie in front, can he pull away from the Williams driver? I suppose only time will tell. But our main weight now is for the wet weather. You can see around the circuit too, the clouds are coming. There's a lot more cloud cover now than what there was at the beginning of this race. It was absolutely clear. So, clouds are coming.
Slowly about to change. Yep, that's slowly changing. How heavy will the rain get? That was the question, too.
Absolutely.
That's another thing.
When will it arrive and how heavy will it get? Two very important questions that will be answered shortly. Bags closing in, but not by enough to attack Pump for P9. Still about 3.5 tenths back as they head around turn 2 and into turn 3. Now towards the front of the pack, Smithy is still in second place. But he hasn't lost a tremendous amount of time. He hasn't dropped to outside 4 seconds to GeForce pattern. In fact, he's just jumped outside of it now. So, Smithy's still got decent pace. Yellows are out. That is Keegs spinning at turn 4. Oh dear. Well, that battle between him and Aussie has officially come to an end. Till potential safety car or when the wet weather comes around.
Pretty much. So pretty much what the closest one we got right now is Bags and Pump. As far as like with a DRS battle.
Pretty much. Everyone else is far too spread out for battling just yet. It's one of those boring mid phases of the race where we have to wait for strategy to spice things up or a safety car even. So I don't know, these things happen. It's a friendly reminder that this is indeed Formula One. So, and this is a very, very, very common thing in Formula One. So.
Yeah, that's why Crossplay always says this is Formula One. This is Formula One.
Yeah, right now. We've had some battling here and there, but now we're entering that phase where everyone's by themselves, minding their own business. Clouds are getting darker. They are well and truly arriving too.
Yeah, more of them have come. This is going to get pretty interesting to see how this fares.
And I'd say, KD, those who start on the medium tyres have made this work.
Yeah, in some way too, I will say. Yeah, like Pato, like we've mentioned, he actually hasn't been losing time. He's been slowly gaining on Smithy, so doesn't seem like the medium tire is the worst tire in the world. So yeah.
No, it seems that Spicy's dropped off a little bit. Yellows are out, it's Bags. That is at the exit of turn 11, entering turn 12. He's now lost a place to Simo, so that battle's ended between himself and Pump.
Well, he can battle for 10th then.
You would think so, Pacific Racing League. You would think so, but with F1 games, safety cars are a bit iffy. Like you can have a massive pile-up involving 2-3 cars, right? And all it will be yellow flags through that sector. And yet, you can have a Haas break its front wing, and that's a safety car. Fortunately, there is no Haas in this race tonight, so that can't happen. But that's been a thing that I've been witnessing for too damn long in this game. When a Haas breaks their front wing, all of it, not just a bit of it, all of it, it's a guaranteed safety car. I swear to you, it is a guaranteed safety car. Happens way too often.
I haven't had that happen too often for me. I think maybe it's just a you thing, but I have seen it happen sometimes, where a Haas breaks its front wing and destroys the front wing and causes a safety car.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's usually a random.
It should be random. Sorry. There's a rain too.
Yep.
So on lap 16 of 33, pretty much the halfway mark of this race, the rain has arrived. Yellows are out again. It's Davis spinning at turn 8. There he gets going. Alrighty. So now we wait. When do the interconditions develop here in Portugal? Obviously, track temp is going to be reducing, so these hard tyres, they're going to struggle a little bit in these conditions. They are warm, which are the main thing. You need temperature in these sort of conditions, but ideally you need the grippiest tyre as well as tyre temperature. And right now, I still think those medium tyres are still pretty good on Pado's car in particular. Spicy and Riley, maybe not, but Pado has still got some pace, although, saying that, the gap has shrunk. It's now opened back up again, so it seems that Pado and Smithy are pretty even as of right now.
Yeah, but yeah, no, like it's pretty much the grippiest tire you want. Well, the soft tire would be ideal if you were starting that, but of course, since you're on the mediums, that's obviously your second choice.
Cars making their way past pit entry. No one peeling in just yet. He's all... I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. He had that. He's been dealing with that for about a couple days now. For Pro, he's got a bit of COVID.
Yeah, righto. Sort of the Zach Crichton treatment from Tier 1. When Crichton had COVID, he was actually driving better. For whatever reason. He was buggered after every race. Well, he didn't have COVID, he had something. He had some sort of flu. But yeah, it really buggered him up, but he still performed quite well, and equally so with Ferrari Pro. And just behind his teammate. It is raining, Vegan. That's exactly what it's doing. It's raining. It's not Inters yet. It seems like we're gonna...
It's getting there.
Yeah. There is droplets. There is droplets. It is raining. We're just waiting for it to turn to intermediate conditions, which seems like it's going to take a little while here at Portugal. I've had it for a couple of laps now, and sometimes that's all it takes is a couple of laps. As Davis had a moment at turn 3. You can see Pado's still staying out, but he is losing time now to Smithy. The gap has shrunk to 3.5 seconds, and ACW's in. Oh, and Ferrari Pro's in as well.
Oh,
KD.
No. Oh, no.
Is that happening again?
Is it the Ferrari master plan?
Well, hang on. That's one thing that goes in favour is the fact that DRS is disabled. That is the time to come into pit lane and put on intermediate tyres. That's the call you have to wait for. And it's just come out. And a whole heap of other people are coming in for inters. So maybe this is a genuine Ferrari master plan here.
Well, to be fair to Ferrari Pro, he didn't lose a position. He just lost time. That's it.
Yep, that's right. Still in front of Riley, and by a considerable amount, 5.2 seconds. Alright, let's see if the Ferrari strategy and everybody else's strategy works. Because a lot of people have pitted onto the Inter. Alright, the gap is 13.3 as ACW is making his way through the sector. And he is gaining. He's just gained half a second in 3 corners. Oh, but he understeered wide there at turn 7. That's bound to be a warning. So he is gaining a whole chunk of time on those intermediate tyres. Pado will be coming in. Smithy will be coming in. So will Spicy. Top 3 will come in. And everyone else who is still on slick tyres will be coming in too.
I wouldn't even say that's a Ferrari blunder yet, guys, in the chat.
No,
I
not
wouldn't
yet.
say that.
Not yet. We'll find out. Newens has bolted on to Pato's car. Smithy coming along. Inter's on his. Where is HCW? Making his way around the final corner.
Coming out, and same with Smither.
Yep. Spicy's on wets.
Really?
He's on wets.
Why? That's a... Okay.
Is this the Mercedes master strategy? He's on wets.
This is not even close to wet. Not even.
What I'm guessing is one of... Hello, Riley. How are you doing? One of two things has happened. It's either he's accidentally clicked it onto wets, which is entirely possible, or Spicy's thinking big-brained. He's thinking it's going to get heavier very quickly. So he's going to try and get a free pit stop if he can.
Well, he better hope it gets quickly because he's going to lose time.
He's going to lose a chunk of time on those wets. And he needs to make sure he doesn't overheat the damn things either. Because as soon as you start overheating tyres, you get zero grip. Like legit no grip whatsoever. Yellows are out, it's Aussie. Spinning at the exit of turn 4. So he'll get pointed back in the right direction.
Well, Geese has also copied him as well in 13th. He's
yeah,
on the
interesting.
Geese is just minding his own business on ours.
So yeah, for Spicy, is this the big brain strategy going on? Is he trying to snag a free pit stop? Well, right now, he's getting swallowed up by everyone on Inters. He does not have pace on those wet weather tyres. And keep in mind, the leaders are at turn 2. Spicy is exiting the final corner. And look at the understeer. The grip isn't even comparable. It's night and day between Roscoe and Spicy through that final corner.
Yeah, and it's definitely, yep, it's obviously not even close to wets. Maybe it will come later, maybe, but definitely not now, obviously.
Not now, no. Yeah, I agree.
Probably,
Vegan.
yeah.
I don't think Spicy will stay within a pit stop's distance to the race leader.
No,
by the time it changes anyway. Look at that, the gap's 21 seconds already. And constantly increasing.
Yeah, that's literally a pit stop behind, so... Ouch.
Yep. Yellows, that is Keeg. Spinning out at the exit of the final corner. At pit entry, does he pit in? No, he stays out, keeps going.
Well, maybe the wet runners wet runners I've got to hope for is either rain gets heavier quickly, or like I mentioned, or a safety car. That's literally it.
Yeah. That's all they've got going for them right now. GeForce Pato though, enjoying life. 2.5 seconds over Smithy. The gap has closed a little bit. Not a great deal between the top two, just a little bit. But Pato, he'd be pretty pleased with himself right now. Just needs to stay focused and keep running as well as he has been. ACW is trying to close in on Smithy here. Gap's 1.1 seconds between these two. So ACW has gained because of that earlier pit stop onto the intermediate tyre. It has worked for Ferrari. It's giving ACW a genuine shot here at P2. But where is he going to get by? If he can get close enough too. Yellows are out. That was Keegs, I think, through turns 10 and 11, bringing out yellow flags.
I would think so, because he's going a little slowly too.
Yeah. So yeah, ACW got decent pace right now, but probably have a hard time trying to make a move in these sort of conditions. So.
Yeah, your only hope is to have the car make a mistake in front of you. That's, I think, really at this point.
Now, got another battle going on here between Riley and Plevs. Yellow. Oh, Gaz has crashed. Gaz is out.
There's a pretty safety car though.
Oh my goodness, how did he end up there? Look at him. Yellows are out in sector 1. That is Davis spinning.
Davis and the AlphaTauri.
So that didn't bring out a safety car.
I guess not. Well, he's not in a Haas, so.
Correct. That is very true. Plevs right behind Riley, trying to find a way by. Yeah, this will sort of illustrate how difficult it is to try and make moves. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Ooh, indeed. That was a moment.
Yeah. That back end did not want to be happy at all.
Nice and tidy on the exit. Yeah. Good bit of driving from Plebs there out of turn 5. Around turn 7. Into turn 8. You have to be so tentative through here. You have to drive as if you're on tippy toes out of turn 8. Around turn 9. Up the hill and around 10. Then turn 11. Look at the earlier apex Plebs is able to get. Yellows are out. That was Aussie spinning out of turn 13. There he is there. Oh, and a big send down the inside. Where did that come from?
Just set it on him, pretty much.
Yeah, Riley left the door open.
Pleasantly lost it there at turn 14.
Oh,
Again. Yeah.
just sent it. Just
Guess you gotta
boom.
get by somehow. Yeah.
Absolutely no chill down the inside as Aussie has a moment at pit entry. Might have damage on his car. Yellows are out. Who's that?
Jesus. That's Keeg at 3.
Yeah,
In the infield.
having a moment. Oh, it's Riley. Can he keep this battle alive for P5? Down the back straightaway towards turn 5. No, not close enough to make a move here. Besides, he doesn't.
Runs awfully
Oh, wow.
deep. He runs awfully deep.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there from Mr. Race Spec. Overshooting turn 5 big time. And now he has to do with that work all over again. And I wonder if Riley will see him coming this time around.
Especially at the turn 13.
Well, all aboard the spicy train. We've got Spicy, Bag, Simo, and then behind them, who's that? That must be Aussie.
Aussie.
So, yeah,
Well, Bags might get. Whoa! He loses the back end at turn 8.
no. Around the outside he goes at 9. Down the inside at 10. Simo's going to try and follow. Down the
Should
hill.
be able to get by. Surely.
Oof.
Close.
Mm,
Too much.
yeah, Spicy. Yeah, he must have made a mistake. I don't think there's any way he deliberately chose the wet weather tyre. Oh, plebs! Gee whiz! Big sideways moment out of turn 1, and Simo gets by Bags Liddell around the outside of the final corner. I reckon Bags made a mistake at turn 14. Let Simo through, and here comes Bags on the counter-attack. Down the inside at turn 1. Oh, but Simo fights back round the outside. Great driving there from the Alfa Romeo driver. Oh, and Bags can't fight down the inside at turn 3 either, so great bit of scrapping there, especially in these conditions. Pump minding his own business in P8. Roscoe Arm in 7th. Plebs in P6. He has to regain all that time after that mistake at turn 5, plus a mistake at turn 1 that's cost him a fair chunk of time. He's currently 1.1 seconds behind Riley, who does have a time penalty next to his name. Out in front, though, is GeForce Pato, and he's actually increased the margin to Smithy. It's now 3.2 seconds between Pato and Smithy, 1.4 between Smithy and ACW.
You're wide there too at turn 1. That might be a wide for Pato. He's on the outside curve.
Seen a few drivers run wide there, and
Yeah.
we got penalties, but probably not as much as we probably should have. So maybe you can kind of get away with it. Maybe.
Probably. I'll have to test and see.
Last time I drove around here was on last year's game for Formula Endurance. So a full on, I think 66, 67 laps around here. Yeah, long
66.
time. Long time.
Yeah, I can say how that was. I can say last night was quite long, doing 44 laps around Spa.
Yeah, no. Last night was a long race. I'm just happy I was able to finish it more than anything.
So. I got fun out of it, so I'm happy.
I'll take a top 5 any day. So.
Exactly. Oh, gee whiz,
Plebs.
Riley and Plebs.
Gee whiz, man.
You two went awfully wide at turn 10.
The track is within the white lines, mate. Just so you know. That's the racetrack. The bits on the outside aren't the racetrack.
I want to see if they get a warning. I'm very curious now. Not 26, was it? They got away with... How did they get away with that?
Game said so.
Goodness.
Don't question the gods, KD. They said no. Don't you dare question the Codemaster EA gods.
Well, screw them.
Screw them indeed.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, don't we all just... We're all just oozing with anticipation for F1 23. Oh, we can't wait. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for the same game.
Probably, yep. Microtransactions and stuff too.
Yep, pretty
More
much. Well, there's Plevs. He's now back on Riley's gearbox. Can he find a way by? But there's now company. There is an Alfa Romeo in the form of Roscoe Arm. He's about to join the fight, it seems. So it's McLaren versus Alpine versus Alfa Romeo. Riley versus Plevs versus Roscoe. See who wins this three-way duel. We head around turn 13 towards 14. Plevs, will he send it? No, of course he doesn't.
Nah. No, not close. I was gonna say, well, Plebs doesn't really need to necessarily do anything. You could just sit behind Riley and just get a place out of him.
I suppose the only trouble would be Roscoe. Smithy gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Oof. That's a big oof. Here comes Plebs. Can't attack here at turn 1. Can he line something up at 3? No, is the answer. Too far behind. Oh, but he hits the apex pretty spot on. 4th gear, 5th gear. Yellows are out. Think that's Keegs, is it?
Yeah, that was at the main straightaway.
And to turn 5, not quite close enough to attack Riley there. Yeah, he can stay behind Riley if he so chooses, but he does leave himself a tad bit vulnerable to Roscoe Arms, so... Sure, he doesn't want to dilly-dally and just stay behind Riley. He'd probably like to make moves and get towards... well, actually, they'd be too far behind to get towards the top 4. 12.7 seconds. That's a huge gap between P4 and 5. So, all that Plebs can hope for is P5. And an easy way to do that is to get Riley behind you. And that way you have a car between yourself and your main rival, which is Roscoe Arm in this case. So... I'm sure he'll still be looking to try and get by. That way he can just have that buffer if need be.
Yeah, give himself more breathing room, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Plebs nowhere near close enough to attack this time around. Way too far behind. Yeah, it's just a waiting game, I'm afraid. Well... The rain hasn't spiced it up as much as I think a lot of us probably would have thought.
No. It's been staying as intermediate conditions from the way I look. It doesn't look like it's gotten worse. I don't see any puddles or anything. Like, any puddles forming, so yeah.
No,
there you go.
Everyone's kept it tidy. Only one DNF, and that was Gares with a peculiar incident at turns 10 and 11. He was way off in the middle of those two corners in the infield. Don't know how the hell he ended up there. Did a really good job with it though. First time I've seen a car there in my entire life. So, that's new.
Well, he's also not new to the wheel, so just gotta give him a bit of slack.
Yeah, and you know that all too well.
I do know that all too well.
Yellows are out, that's Aussie spinning. Bags Liddell gets a 3-second time penalty. Ouch. Well, I suppose tyres don't really matter now at this point. It's all about the penalties. So, Smithy with 3 seconds. That's a blow and a half for him. Because if he did have pace, he could have challenged Pato, but at the moment he doesn't. He's still about 3 seconds behind him. His main concern is ACW, who is still within 3 seconds. He's 2.1 seconds behind, so Smithy, he's still on for a podium, but yeah.
But he would lose 1 spot, I think, from the way it's looking.
Yeah. And who knows, if Ferrari Pro can pick up the pace, who knows? He might be able to get within 3 seconds. He's currently 4 seconds behind. 3.9 or so.
Well, he's also got 2 warnings, I noticed, from looking at the race director for Ferrari Pro, so he has to be careful. Same with Pato, too. I know he's got a bit of a gap, but still. Gotta be careful in case anything happens.
Okay, fair enough. Aussie 3-second time penalty. Now has 6 seconds next to his name. Heading up the hill towards turns 10 and 11. Pleb still hunting Riley. You know, after this period of time, watching Plebs, Riley, Roscoe Arm, I think Plebs could stay behind. I don't know if Roscoe Arm's got the pace to really try and challenge the Alpine here. He is close, but yeah. But for Plebs, all it will take is one mistake, then he loses a place. So, does have to be mindful. He can stay behind if he so chooses, which is a safe thing to do, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm noticing as well, he usually keeps him at bay at the final couple of turns. He gets really good runs compared to Roscoe Arm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's fair enough if he's just doing that just to keep him at bay.
Can't take anything away from this man so far. Pato's put together a blinding race. All thanks to that blinding start on the mediums. My goodness. That was a start.
Yep. And he's led every lap of this race so far too.
Yep. Just needs to keep his eyes forward. Try not to put a foot wrong. Well, there you go. Now it's a battle on. Plebs and Riley now are on equal penalties. This is going to benefit Roscoe Arm. This is Roscoe Arm's dream right here. Because now all he has to do is stay behind Plebs and Riley and he gains 2 spots for free. Yeah, that's something Plebs desperately did not want at all. So he now has to probably get a wriggle on and try and battle Riley. If he wants to finish P6 in this race, he has to finish in front of Riley.
And, well, since we are at lap 31-33, any crash that happens, no safety car will happen.
That's
much.
right.
So
this is it.
Driving, yep, so it's driving from here on forward then.
Plebs has lost a little bit of touch to Riley here. 1.2 seconds. Oh, wide. Oh, no!
Oh, no!
All 3 of them went wide at turn 1, and Roscoe Arm gets a penalty. What was a guaranteed 5th, he's now back down in 7th.
Ouch.
Oh, he'll be happy with the top 10, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I think he would have liked more.
He would have liked the top 5 more.
Yeah, exactly. I'm guessing he followed the, exactly what the top two, or the 2 front did.
Riley went way wide, and Plebs went a little wide. So I'm guessing Roscoe Arm was following Plebs a little bit, and he just understood way too much. Put all 4 wheels over the white line, and that was a penalty. Done.
Yeah, that's a common mistake anyone could do. I've done that a lot. We all have. So.
And we all have at turn 1 here. We have all done it. 2 laps to go here for the Portuguese Grand Prix. Pato gets a 3-second time penalty. Well, thank goodness he's got a buffer to P2, eh? And a buffer to P3. Yeah, he didn't need that. Didn't need that at all. All he needed to do was drive nice and cleanly for the final 2 laps, and everything should be hunky-dory. But now he's just reapplied a little bit of pressure to himself. Hopefully he remains focused for these 1.5 laps remaining.
All you gotta do, just focus.
Yeah. That's all you gotta do. Drive it steady. Drive focused. Don't need to push here now. Got the gap in hand. Now, back to this, because Plevs has closed in somewhat. Gap's now 4/10 between Riley and Plevs. Oh, so what was a battle of penalties has turned to a genuine battle on track between these three. Plevs with all the work to do to try and get by Riley. Riley has maintained that 5th place pretty well so far. Hasn't really put a foot wrong in his defence against Plevs. So if he can do it for one more lap, he should be able to hang on to P5.
As if he probably got obviously caught off guard with what Plevs did at turn 13, sending it on him.
Oh, Pato, last lap, mate. Don't make a mistake, for goodness sake. A huge moment at turn 1. He was really sideways. Almost threw it all away. But they caught the car and he's still running. That's your only mistake for the entire lap. Make another one, you'll fall into the clutches of this guy. And speaking of clutches, Ferrari Pro is 3.4 seconds behind Smithy. He is closing in. So, in fact, he might battle his teammate, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Oh, it was Ferrari, what the? He's at 3.8, 3.9 behind.
Oh, he must have made a mistake, I guess.
Were there yellows? I didn't see any.
It said sector 2 yellows from me. Oh, he's got a missing end plate, I noticed.
Interesting.
Left end plate's gone.
So he's copped damage from somewhere, but I've got no idea where.
How, though?
Don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
2 corners remain for GeForce Pato. He makes his way out of 14 for the final time, crawling his way out. 1 corner left, turn 15. A wiggle! Oh, dearie me! He's caught it. Pato will drive over the crest, cross the line, and win the Portuguese Grand Prix. Smithy will come home in 2nd. ACW will come home in 3rd. So yeah, that was looking like a guaranteed 2nd for ACW. He finishes half a second behind, so
I wonder if maybe the 2 Ferraris made some sort of contact.
Must have, I suppose.
When we weren't looking, yeah. Because I noticed ACW did lose a fair chunk of time to Smithy.
There you go. Riley will hang on to 5th too. Pleb 6th, Roscoe Arm 7th, Pump 8th. And we'll have Simo and Bags Liddell. Spicy will finish in P11. Everyone else is finished. Jimson. Is that the AI? It is the AI. The AI finished 12th. Davis 13th, Keegs 14th, and Aussie will end up scoring a point in 15th position. Just be waiting on Simo, who will cross the line now. There we are. And Spicy.
Well, at least Gibson survived. AI survived better than what he did last night.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Whoa! And across the line sideways for Spicy. Mercedes master plan did not work. That's for sure. Plebs given driver of the day. We'll see his performance in the final results screen. But for now, it's time for the podium celebrations. And it's his teammate who will stand on the top step of the podium. What a performance from GeForce Pato. Led every lap and will take victory here in Portimão. P2 goes for Smithy for Aston Martin. P3, ACW for Ferrari.
Well, that wasn't a bad race overall, I'd say. But not what I anticipated. I know we said that, but yeah. Not bad result for Pato though. Led every lap like you mentioned. It's just wasn't control for most of the parts. So, the unofficial results of the Portuguese Grand Prix. GeForce Pato is your race winner, with Smithy coming home in 2nd. ACW with fastest lap finishes 3rd. Ferrari Pro P4, followed by Riley in 5th. Plebs 6th, Roscoe Arms 7th. Pump 8th, Bags 9th. Simo rounds out the 10. We have Spicy P11, followed by Jimson's AI in 12th. Then Davis 13th, Keegs 14th, Aussie 15th, and one retirement, which was Gares, who had an incident during the race at turns 10 and 11.
Pleb's given driver of the day. He started P6, finished P6. So, he did make moves though. He made a mistake at turn 14, which dropped him down the order, and he did recover. So, I suppose that factors into his driver of the day reward. So, or award, I should say. So, yeah. Alrighty. We'll get P2 and 3 in. Can't wait for Discord to actually be an application for use on PlayStation. It'll make things a billion times easier to get PC people chatting in with us. But for now, I have to make do with this. Where are we? Alpine, F1 team. Alright, I'll invite the P1 and 3 in. We'll have a chat. Oh, oops. That was an oopsie. I accidentally pushed the wrong button. Oops. Damn this UI. Push the wrong button. All good. We're all good. Only went out temporarily. Alright. Those two should be invited in, hopefully. Yep. Hopefully they'll join us shortly. Hello ACW.
Hello Lane, hello KD.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
Just quickly change a few things here. Oh, you're already on FIFA, mate. Jesus.
Yes.
Of course he is.
Fair enough, I suppose. Less time on F1 the better. So, but no, thank you for joining me. Hopefully Pato will join us in a few moments' time, but I'll start the interviews with you, mate. A P3 result at the end of this one. You happy overall, or no?
I was quite disappointed actually.
Okay.
I was like 2.4 behind Smithy, and he just found a second that last lap. I don't know.
Okay, I'd just like to quickly talk about that final lap. What happened to your teammate?
I think he made a mistake and got wing damage.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. He in a chat he apparently lost control of the hairpin and hit the barrier.
Interesting.
All I knew was I just push, stayed in the 3 seconds, and then a little bit later he's got wing damage.
Oh damn! Because he was closing in on you pretty quick.
Yeah, he was closing rapid.
So he had some serious pace underneath, and that's really unfortunate. But yeah, we weren't sure totally what happened. Thought there might have been a collision between the two of you at potentially turn 5. But yeah, okay. But how was qualifying? First and foremost.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Every time, the first 2 laps I stuffed up turn 1, both times, missed the apex, and then third time I still missed it, but I found like a 10th, and I got the screen freeze, and then
Yeah.
shambles.
Yeah, no, thanks for the message for that, by the way, because yeah, we weren't terribly sure what happened to you on that final run. We saw the invalidation, but yeah, didn't see how it happened, so yeah, no, really unfortunate. But I suppose that's something we just have to deal with the crossplay for the moment. Hopefully it will improve, but a P2, you think a 16 was on the table?
16.8 was definitely on the table for me.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I think when I last checked you on your final run, you were up to the first sector, and I think you might have been up to the middle one as well. So
I invalid in the middle, so
I think it still came up as positive though. So
okay.
Like you were on a pretty good run. But yeah, unfortunate. Front row started on the hard compound tyre. After this race, do you kind of regret that decision?
Somewhat, yes. But to be honest, I didn't know how long the mediums lasted.
Yeah.
'Cause I had like no practice. Just been busy this whole week.
Fair enough.
And
That's,
yeah.
I think it was going to be a bit of an unknown for all of us because this was the first time we would race at Portimão on F122. So it has been a while. Well, we made mention of it during the intro that in last game tyres could last for an eternity, but we weren't sure if that could be replicated here in 22. It seems like they can go some distance, it seems, but yeah, they started on the hard tyre. Not a great deal of grip out there.
Not a lot of grip. Took about lap 4 until I got anything.
Yep. Yikes. Yeah, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. But after that opening stint, settle into your rhythm, minimise mistakes.
Yeah, I was trying to keep it collected.
Fair
There was
enough.
some, I don't know, idiot or something taking out all the braking boards.
Oh, righto.
Made it
Yeah, I noticed that turn 5, wasn't it? That someone took
every
out that-
corner basically.
Every
Oh, was
corner,
it?
yeah.
Oh, was it every corner? Oh, I noticed
Yeah,
it.
it was
turn 5. I
every
didn't know
single
it was
corner.
Oh shoot. Okay.
It started around like lap 15, I think it was.
Yeah,
It
no,
happens.
don't. People shouldn't be doing that at all. I personally am extremely against anyone taking out braking boards, because I know it's like running with no line. You need those boards big time.
Especially in the rain as well, it's just horrible.
Absolutely. When you need to adapt to conditions and you have no line in front of you, you need those boards as reference points so you can try and gauge where you need to brake heading into those corners. So yeah, no, I hope we can find out who that was. But speaking of the rain, you and your teammate timed it pretty well to move it on to the Inters. We were thinking initially it might have been another Ferrari Master Track, but no, you got it spot on, absolutely spot on. You must have been pretty happy with that.
I was quite surprised how Smithy and Pato didn't pit. Because
Yeah.
I was at the, like, just before the long right-hander, I got the MFD.
Oh, okay. So Mark
had-
gave you the call up to come in.
Yeah,
Right. Fair
I was
enough.
surprised. Or maybe Pato was slightly too ahead of the pit lane, but I definitely thought Smithy was going to pit.
Yeah, righto. But no, you two got it absolutely spot on. You gained time to Smithy too, about 1 second behind or so. And how were those wet weather conditions?
That last lap was horrible. The rest was alright.
Re-
I think
yeah.
it turned to heavy rain towards the end.
Okay. Yeah, it just became a bit too impossible on those inters.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So I suppose, considering everything that happened, like the mishap through qualifying, the poor start on the hard tyre, which I think everyone on the hard tyre had, got the strategy right, but tricky conditions with no braking boards as well, I'd say then third place is pretty acceptable for you at the end of the day.
End of the day.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you want more, but
Yeah.
you get what you get. So, and third still gives you heaps of points. So that's the main thing. I think he should still be leading the Drivers' Championship after this round, I would think, unless Smithy takes you. I don't think he will. But yeah, he shouldn't take you too far behind.
Okay.
But KD, do you have anything to ask ACW?
Nothing furthermore, but other than that, congratulations though on your podium. Unlucky though for your teammate though. Otherwise, it could have been a double podium, but still, great job.
Thank you, Katie and Lane.
One final question for you, buddy, before we let you go. Hop on to FIFA. Next round is our first sprint round of the championship. It's at Mexico. How do you feel heading into next week?
I think I wouldn't say confident, but I think, but even though I have lack of practice, I should be relatively competitive.
All right, fair enough. So there's some high hopes heading into the race, but keeping expectations low enough.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, no practice does hurt a little bit. But, well, best of luck for you next week, AFCW. But for now, congratulations on your third place finish. Well done. But, and just a quick shout out to Smithy. Well put together race from you once again. You'll definitely overtake Ferrari Pro, and you'll probably overtake Plebs as well. So, Smithy, you should jump up to second in the standings. But yeah, no, tidy race put together. Put it on pole, 16.9, the only driver in the 16, so congrats on that. But yeah, suffered the same thing that everyone else on the hard tyres suffered, just a bad start. Seemed like everyone on the hards had a shocker. So, yeah, no. After that, yeah, I think you just managed your own race pretty well and ended up getting second, so well done on that. But we'll move on to our race winner, GeForce Pato. You've just won the Portuguese Grand Prix. How does it feel, buddy?
Well, first Elite Series win as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, feels quite special. Was a tricky one. I'm not gonna lie, it was a really tricky one. Especially in the last 2 laps where the wets were definitely quicker than the inters. That last corner in the last 2 laps was shocking.
It wasn't it?
Yeah, I went really wide on the last lap because I was losing the rear like crazy, even though I was short shifting like crazy, but in the end it worked out, so I'm pretty happy about it. Like,
mate, you're not gonna lie, you had my heart in my mouth on a few moments on that last lap. Gee whiz. Turn 1 as well. Oh, that was a huge moment at 1 that you caught quite well.
And then the final corner, that almost
undid everything. So yeah, no.
Yeah, that would have been the biggest bottle you've ever seen in a commentary box.
But no, you kept it together, which is the main thing. First ever Elite Series win, and at Portugal as well. Nice place to do it. I mean, using my memory here, in real life, the last driver who won their first ever Grand Prix at Portugal would have been Ayrton Senna. So that's a nice little common thing between the two of you.
Wow.
I'm sure you'd like that.
Yeah. No, but I really like the track because I'm pretty strong at Spain. Unfortunately, I didn't show it last Sunday, but Portimão is really similar in terms of what kind of track it is. You just need a bit less downforce than Spain, but in the end there's a straight, a back straight, and then it's full of high speed and low speed corners. So in the end, I find them pretty similar between each other.
Yeah.
And I've always been quick. I think last season I ended up second or something, and this time just the start made the work, and it was all going well since the start. And
yeah, absolutely. Well, before the start there was qualifying, P4 at the end of qualifying for you. How was the session overall?
Well, I wasn't satisfied, to be honest, because my best was a 17.0.
Yep.
And I've made 2 mistakes in the penultimate and in the final run. In the final run I couldn't improve because I messed up the exit on that uphill right-hander. And on the second run I had a small moment in that same corner, but on exit. So I basically lost a 10 for there. But yeah, P4 wasn't that bad in the end because I knew I had more downforce compared to the others.
Yep.
And that's why I basically started on the mediums, because I really wanted to get away as much as I could, get a good start, and then try and make my pace work.
Yep, absolutely. I can understand that.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise, if I was stuck on traffic or something, I would have been basically a sitting duck everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went for it, and I'm really glad it worked out.
Did you expect that good a start, though? You led into turn 1.
Well, I was expecting to have better grip compared to the others, of course. And I've always been quite good at starts, so I didn't expect to be P1 into turn 1, that's for sure. But I just thought I could be P2. That's what, that was the aim, the goal.
Fair enough.
To be into turn 1. But then when Smithy had a bad start as well, I said, yeah, why not? I'll take that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd take it. I'd take it every day of the week. That was an absolutely ripping start. And as soon as you got in front, you broke away too. Started to build a margin over the rest of the field. And it looked like the medium tyres held up pretty well. Is that correct from your end?
Well, I think the main difference was at the start. But when I pitted, my front right was at 75%.
Okay.
So in the end, it was just touch and go. I think one more lap and could have blown away, but yeah, it was a good choice in the end. And my stint on the mediums, I also checked the race directory, was really, really consistent. And then from there, when it started to get wet, I knew I had more downforce than the other guys, so I just needed to keep it clean and go to the end. And that's what I did.
Well, you're lucky that there wasn't a safety car that came out because of that 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, I know. But as long as we reached lap 31, I said, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna keep it really, really clean and nice and tidy. And yeah.
Yeah, and you just about kept the car under control on that final lap. That turn 1 almost threw it away, and then through the final corner, my goodness. Man.
I don't remember what happened to turn 1, to be honest.
You went through turn 1, hit the outside curb, then you had a huge slide out of the corner, which you corrected. So,
I'll watch it back then.
Yeah, watch it back, because I almost fainted after seeing that on the last lap at turn 1. Oh man, I thought you almost threw it away, and then almost did it again at the final corner. I couldn't believe it, but no, came across the line in first. Must be a really nice feeling after so long.
Yes, it is. It is indeed.
But KD, do you have anything to ask our race winner?
No further question. But other than that, congratulations, Pato, on a dominant victory. And yeah, I'm sure obviously you're very pleased with that.
Thanks, mate.
But
appreciate it.
One final question for you, race winner. Next week, first sprint round, and it's at Mexico City. How do you feel heading into next week's race?
Well, it's not one of my best trucks, but not one of my worst either. So yeah, I've always performed pretty well at Mexico, so I'm really looking forward to it, and the sprint race is gonna add something to it. We'll see, but it's a track that I really like. I don't know why, but Latin tracks are pretty strong at them, apart from Brazil. Portugal, Spain, Mexico, Spanish speakers and Portuguese speakers, maybe, I don't know, it's just, sorry.
Fair enough.
We'll see, but I really like the track, and let's see what happens.
Gonna have to find a way to bring the Argentinian Grand Prix back, I suppose. Help you out a bit more.
Termasterion.
Yeah, that could work. That could work. It's been a while since we've had an Argentinian Grand Prix. It has been a long time, so
yeah,
maybe one day, but we'll have to wait and see. Well, best of luck then for next week, Pato. But for now, congratulations on winning the Portuguese Grand Prix. Well done.
Thank you very much, and thank you both of you guys for commentating.
All good. But KD, I think that wraps up another Elite Series stream. Not a bad race, say all round. Had its boring moments, but we had some good times in between. Some interesting battles.
Exactly.
So.
I probably agree on that. And of course, wasn't bad overall, but I kind of expected a little bit this from Portugal, I guess.
To be honest, I was expecting more chaos, but these guys, they controlled it all right. They controlled it pretty well. So, be interesting to see how the other tiers fare as we head over to the Tuesday races. But I think with everything said and done, it's time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator, as always, is KD1997. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week for round 4, the first sprint round of the championship at Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for the Mexican Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.